All, all praises to Yahweh, Shem, Yahweh Shai. Double honors to Apostle and elders in New York, GMS. And salutation, y'all can run the world is teaching the truth and put your lives on the line for it. My name is Maya Ka'ala Bangad, a Chicago branch of Great Millstone. I'd like to make a disclaimer that we are not black Hebrew Israelites. Black is a color, not a nationality. We are not fitting any black extreme groups. We are not affiliated with any Islamic groups. We are not affiliated with any other Israelite groups. Okay. The Israelites are the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, and the speckled birds that scattered abroad. Okay. And a good example of speckled bird is Harry Belafonte, granddaughter, through his son. All right. Okay, so right here, this book right here is called The Englishman, the Moor, and the Holy City, The True Adventures of Elizabethan Traveler. All right, so it's a book by John Taylor. All right, and it's a book about insisting on one an Englishman named Henry Timberlake. You know, he goes to Egypt. All right, and so it's something interesting. You go to page 36. And I'll show you another interesting thing in another video. All right, so you go to page 36. All right, it says right here. You can just focus. Okay. I hope you can see this. All right. It says Morocco was angry at Spain, not only because the Spanish had seized Moorish lands in Al-Andalus, all right, that's in Spain, and dealt appalling with Muslims there because the Spanish were continually capturing Muslims to serve as slaves in the Spanish colonies in the Americas. All right, so those were the Moors. Those were the Moors in Al-Andalus, that's over there in Spain, man. Proving that you so-called Negroes, Latino, Native American, when you're not Africans, you didn't come from Africa. Even the ones that did come from Africa, you were Africans. You were Israelites. You were a Shemitic stock, man. All right, we're not Hamitic. We're Shemitic, and it's not Shem, it's Shem. All right, so it proved that you're not Africans, man. All right, and you know, like I said in Isaiah 58:3, that Esau, he's a liar out of coming out of the womb, man. All right, very well. It says Leviticus 20 verse 26. It says, and ye shall be holy unto me. Holy means separate, kodash. For I, Yahweh, am holy, and has severed you from other people, that ye shall be mine. All right, so we different from other people, man. All right. It says right here, let's go, let's see, Exodus. All right. It says, Exodus 11:7. It said, but against any children of Israel shall not a dog move his tongue against man or beast, that ye may know that Yahweh doth put a difference between the Egyptians and Israel. So the Egyptians was Hamitic people, Israel was Shemitic. And the Shemitic people are the so-called the Israelites are the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans who are of Shemitic descent. All right. And we can't be anti-Semitic, man. Okay. And right here it says, get this right here. All right. It says the Zondervan Bible Dictionary definition of ham. Okay. Page 213. It said ham In Hebrew, it's come, which means hot. It says the youngest son of Noah, born probably about 96 years before the flood, and one of the 8 persons to live through the flood. He became the progenitor of the dark races, not the Negroes, but the Egyptians, the Ethiopians, the Libyans, the Canaanites. All right. So there you go, man. All right, go to page 6 in the book, The Golden Age of the Moor by Ivan Van Sertima. All right, and these books are like $90, Arkansas. I'll bet you. If you can, you probably could find it for cheaper, man. Just look in the old bookstores. Sometimes they had these books. All right, or you just gotta go online, just fork up your $90, man. It's worth it, man. Ivan Sertima books are good. You gotta do a little bone picking, man. All right, you gotta separate the bones out of the meat. All right, the falsehood from the truth, man. But it's good books. These are good books. All right, it says the essay Renuka Rashidi and James Bruno provided us with this is page 6, one of the most comprehensive examinations that used the word Moor. All right, Moor is the title, man. But they concede that it's still difficult to arrive at the perceived ethnicity of a Moor through Moor terminology alone. The fact that the term was originally intended to refer to a black or dark-skinned person, as they has shown, does not mean that everyone called a Moor is African or of African descent. Okay? All right, then you go to page, let's see, think to, all right, where is that? I think it's on 200. Let me see. All right, let's see, 200 and, where is it? I think it's on 2. It might be on page, let's see, 2. Let's see, 2. Oh, here you go, right here. All right, 250. Okay, it says right here, it says, but when one talks about the Moors and Jews in context of that transitional period, all right, between the rise of Spanish power and final defeat of the former and expulsion of both, one must bear in mind that neither the terms Moor nor Jew refer to a uniform racial type. They were both the products of polyglot racial mixtures in North Africa and Spain. Only their cultural and religious trappings would have enabled an outsider to distinguish one from the other. All right, that is so. All right, all right, you couldn't tell the difference between them, man. All right, they're the same people. It says, all right, it said during the long tenure rules, the Moors had set a pattern of peaceful symbiosis. All right, in their tolerant treatment of Christians and Jews, and a new class analogous to the Muslim Arabs. Christians under Muslim rule was to appear in Mujahs or Muslims living under Christian rule. For centuries, the Muslims, Christians, and Jews had lived side by side, and in many instances had so intermarried that numerous families were part Muslim, part Christian, and part Jew. All right, so some to Islam, some to Christianity. Constantine cooked up, mixed the scriptures up with Babylonian and Egyptian doctrine. All right, and some was the Israelites practicing the law, statutes, commandments that Yahweh had given them. All right, so the same people, man, just had different doctrines, man. They was Israelites. Okay, now let's get into this right here. This book right here, Slavery in America, Eyewitness by Dorothy Snyder and Carl J. Snyder. Okay. Let's see right here. 2:17. Okay. And this is in the chapter Indians as slaves, as friend, enemies of black slaves and slave holders. All right. I'm talking about the tribe of Judah and Gad, and that's between tribe of Judah, so-called Negroes, Gad, so-called Native Americans, and Reubens, so-called Seminole Indians. All right. So it's chapter 9. Now you go to 2:17. All right. All right. So it says right here. I'll read it right here. It says, as whites, all right, talking about Esau, came to appreciate the size of the continent and how much labor will be needed to develop it, such arrangements no longer suffice. All right, it says the record of 16th, 17th, 18th century European and North America dismaying parallels that in Africa, and that the European both cases tried to exploit. What they did, they ain't tried. They exploit the labor of the natives. All right. In a new world, however, whites were also determined to establish, right? They're not whites, this Edomites, to establish permanent settlements. They were after the land as well as slaves. Their ambitions soared. Why not use the Indian slaves to till and develop the vast unsettlement continent, or as training goods for black slaves. All right, as Emmanuel Daniel argued in 1645 to John Winthrop. All right, a war would never guess it. All right, so that's a so-called Native American or American Indian, so-called Native Indian tribe. This is the tribe of Gad. Is very considerable to plantation, for I doubt whether it be not. This is old English, all right. The saying in, I guess, in us hauling the power in our hands to suffer them to. It's a lot. This is old English. Matity, the worship of the devil in which there are pawpaws. All right, so he lying saying they powwow. So like I say pawpaw. So he lying saying they worship devils in their powwows. All right, cool. Majority, most Gad, man, they worship the Most High, man. All right, so which their powwows, all right, often do, all right, to lie. If upon a just war the Lord should deliver them into our hands, all right, we might easily have men, women, children enough to exchange for Moors. All right, Moors. All right. So why are they calling this? Because they was still kidnapping the Moors, which was the Israelites, man. And these were more. They was bringing them to first the 15th, 16th century. They bring from Spain to Portugal. Then the Moors ran away. They ran to West Africa, dwelled among their brothers, and they got kidnapped from there. All right. Also, and they was exiled. The so-called Black Portuguese, those were Israelites. All right. Which will be more gainful pillage for us than we conceive. All right. So they was changing the Gadites, so-called Native Americans, for the tribe of Judah, so-called Negroes, and the so-called Negroes were called Moors. They weren't called Africans, man. Okay, this is Jeremiah, Jeremiah 50. All right, verse 3. It says what? All right. Jeremiah 50, verse 33. Alright. It says what? It says, get this. It says, thus said Yahweh hosts, the children of Israel, the children of Judah were pressed together, and all that took them captives held their fast. They refused to let them go. All right. So you had the southern kingdom, northern kingdom. days being enslaved together, man. All right. Well, the main point here is to prove that the so-called Negroes in Americas are not Africans. All right. So hope this was edifying. So shalom.